Crispy, what the hell is going on? That's the first thing that I want to say. You know what I mean? And I don't even mean it, it's kind of a rhetorical question. I know what's going on, but I just want to say, what the heck is going on, brother? If you're joining us for the first time, before you answer, Crispy, hold that thought. It's the HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shakur Smith. We're back, but this week we're not talking about COVID-19. We're obviously going to talk about George Floyd and what's been going on with his murder and the protests and the looting and this, that, and this, that, and the other, and maybe touch on why, for some of you who may not understand why, We're a podcast about history, politics, and race, and we also cover current events. I'm a filmmaker from Trinidad. I love all of the above. Chris is a veteran of the Army Reserve, and he currently works for the VA, and he also has a love for that. And we always just say, we just about truth. If you're not about truth, we're sorry, not sorry.
Not sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially now, not sorry.
Especially now, we're not sorry. Yeah, Smith. So let's get into it, man. The other thing that I'd like to say is, it's been an interesting 2020, brother. To say the least. We're now in June, and what's the biggest,
it happened at the end of May, but it's funny, the memes that are out right now. And what I was going to answer your question, like what the hell's going on, is 2 weeks ago, I was going to be trying to talk about Trump against Twitter, and stuff like that, and how that was kind of important at the time, but 2 weeks. And a lot of stuff happened, and now we're dealing with George Floyd. If people don't know, of course, he was murdered by the cop kneeling on his neck, and then there were another officer standing, keeping people away, who actually voiced compassion, wondering, like, hey, check his pulse. He's on his neck. Does he have to really be? He's in cuffs. And then to find out there was 2 other cops holding him down. So it's, you have 3 accessories to murder. It's terrible. And then it took, they didn't right away do anything as far as convicting him, even though we saw stuff. And then you have the coroner, just a lot of stuff. So I'll let you go ahead.
No. Well, it's funny. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the actual murder. So thanks for covering that. And what I'd like to do is kind of segue to a post on Instagram that I posted earlier, because this isn't the first time this has happened. You know what I mean? And we're so sick of it happening with no conviction and stuff like that. This is why people have they've just had enough. So what I'd like to do is go down and read some of the exact same thing that have happened with others, and it was no conviction. And we're like trying to prevent the no conviction thing from happening again, and we're also trying to prevent this from happening again, because you can't. As I was telling you, I said this a couple of weeks ago. I forgot what show we were doing, and I said, if this happens again, it's not going to be the same response. And it was exactly what I was thinking, because I kind of just felt the frustration with people and them just being sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean?
I feel like having the video where, Arby, the black young kid who was jogging and went into the construction. Aubrey. Aubrey. Yeah, seeing that and just 2 months, and my giggle was like out of frustration. But it's like that happened. So watching this video was way different, and just seeing the life go out of the man on camera. Someone had it. Thank God we're in a society where we have. Our technology has grown to the fact that we even have cell phone cameras. Because if that was never, any of these videos if video cameras were not around to have this shown, we'd still be just talking about stuff that we say, and other people would, and when I say other, is groups that just never believe that thing, demographic groups that never believe that it happened, and that, Black people are just complaining and making things up. No, people are dying and they're innocent, and they're not proven. Like if he was passing off a counterfeit $20 bill, does he deserve to die for that? No. Right. No, not at all. He goes to jail. He gets, there's supposed to be a legal
don't even
system.
go to jail. Someone could have given that to him.
Correct. I mean? But I'm just saying,
he could have gotten it from a store, and there's a more peaceful process to rectifying that than
death. And that's the part that people are, even though you get some, and it's interesting on another, I'll add to that later. I don't want to go. Well, I'll just say that, on another note, and I'm posting, and I'm trying to be very, posting things, and I'll have friends who will comment about the rioting and looting, and it's like, I didn't see anything of your post about the death. But now you're concerned about the business?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry. What? And I knew it was going to happen because it always happens in the past. And unfortunately, a lot of our protests that occur, there ends up being some looting happening, and it's just the frustration. It's also people take advantage of the situation. Yep. But I'm now seeing a lot of stuff that makes me wonder about all these past protests and looting. To make me wonder, is something, are people coming into the areas, and are they initiating by, there's a video showing a white man, breaking a glass. And,
they are.
And that gets people pumped to do something. Or
it was documented.
Yeah, another video where a bunch of bricks are nicely set up for people just to grab. And then the last thing I saw today, which I was about to take a nap, but I couldn't because the video got me so heated, where the woman stopped this car, at least a white girl, gave a couple Black men a brick. And she's like, do you not understand they could die for that brick? Like, what did you want them to do with it? Here you are passing them a brick to go break stuff. And there are people, it's like the optics are always to make Black people look worse.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. It's crazy, man. But I want to just read some of these names if people don't know that this has happened to, and there was never any conviction. So I have Philando Castile, Terrence Grutcher, and some of these I may butcher these names. People, I don't know how to pronounce everybody's name exact. Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, of course, Michael Brown, Rekia Boyd, Sean Bell, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray. Some of these you guys know about because they were really high profile. Dan Roy Henry, Oscar Grant III, Kendrick McDade, Ayanna Jones, Romilly Graham, Amadou Diallo, Trayvon Martin, John Crawford, and Jonathan Farrell. And that's just a few. Aubrey is not even on here.
On there, yep.
You know what I mean? The other girl that was just murdered.
First murder. She's not on there.
She's not on here either. You know what I mean?
And
we can go on and on and on. And like I said on our show a few weeks ago, people are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I mean? And they're tired of asking for justice and not getting it, and peacefully marching and this, that, and the other, and not getting it. And those other three officers need to be arrested ASAP.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yep. The other two that was holding them down.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And that officer who was, that's all part of this. I mean, one could not have done without the other.
Yeah, because if it was any of us in that situation, we'd all be in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Instantly. Yep. Instantly. You know what I mean? So I wanted to talk about what happened, which we did. And then I wanted to talk about everyone's response to what happened. And you know what, Crispy, I have to admit, I was really surprised to see the unity in the protest. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just a rainbow of people, because I honestly think the rest of the country, that are not African American, are finally starting to realize that this is all of our problems to
Yes.
fix. It's not just an Africa. It's not just the African Americans' problem to actually fix.
Right.
We all need to be behind this and demand this justice, because at the end of the day, if you keep treating these people like this, we're all not safe. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like open season on everybody. And what people need to understand is this has been going on since Columbus and everyone else brought slaves here.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Nothing.
And it may be happening less, but the point is it's still happening. You know what I'm trying to say? And you as a people, as a society, you only can take so much injustice. You know what I mean? And
erupt.
Yeah, before you erupt. And when you see the blatant disregard for justice when it comes to people of color, and when it comes to the other side of society, how they get off, if an African American cop accidentally kills or blatantly kills a white civilian, jail time.
Yep.
They're not treated. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not treated the same at all. So when you continue to see that injustice, one day you're gonna just explode.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. And you like posted something earlier, which I reposted, that I thought was very poignant and telling. They'd rather let the nation burn than arrest 3 of their own. Let that sink in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all they have to do. People just want justice.
Justice. Yeah. Yes. And and I know that when they came out with the charges against him, it was like 3rd-degree murder, which they always do say that, sometimes you want to get something on the books, and then as more evidence comes out, hopefully you can charge more. Sometimes, but I
also want to talk about that fake mugshot, but go ahead. I just want to say that before.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Let's go to that, because I got to get. Oh no. Okay, real quick. What I was gonna say is that after Martin Luther King, there was a post where after Martin Luther King was murdered and died, 110 cities in America protested, and then that's when the Civil Rights Act became. So maybe, I just want to say maybe this is the time where something will come out of this. I find it hard because I don't think it's going to happen with Trump in this year ending, but maybe out of next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a Democratic president who actually does bring around some more changes that equals out, nullifies the past, something, because something has to change. We can't.
Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I'm just tired of hearing and seeing, and I was just thinking about this earlier, how when Rodney King got beat, it was bad. People rioted, of course, but nothing really changed too much out of it. I mean, I think LA got a little better because their system, the police system was looked into and stuff like that, and so the police was looked at, but they still kept getting power. Their power never changed. You know what I'm saying?
It never changed.
But then obviously things were still going because now we have the body cams. So stuff was still going, but luckily again, we now have cell phones with cameras. Because Rodney King, someone had a personal
video camera. And turned it into the news.
Yes. So it's now that we have a better technology for ourselves, we're using it. And if it wasn't for cell phone cameras, it would just continue.
Oh yeah.
If we don't stop,
that would have gotten swept under the rug.
Yeah. And I worry that I have a child, you have a child that's mixed. And what if they are just, first of all, they're treated wrongly because of that. But then if something were to happen because of what hasn't been fixed today, That's what I worry.
And it's funny you say that because Sonny actually messaged me, and I'll read the audience the message because I think it's important that they understand how this affects families. And she said hey, she said, hello, good morning. I was wondering, have you talked to Layla about the protests and riots? Not being Black, I will never understand fully exactly what that race is going through. I can sympathize, but I'll never have the weight in my DNA. So I just wanted to make sure there was communication with you. And my response to our audience, if you know who's listening, my response was to my ex-wife, my daughter's mom, I plan on explicitly detailing it to her and showing her a couple of videos. And she said, okay, just making sure, because no matter how hard I try, I'll never understand the same way. You know what I mean? And and I really appreciate, for everybody that doesn't know my ex-wife, she's Korean and white, and I really appreciate her admitting that she'll never understand it the way I can and will or relate, and acknowledging that and wanting me to talk to our daughter about it, who's a half African American. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely going to explain it to my daughter because I have to. Explain to her why and what and how and the whole thing, man. So that she has a clear picture and a clear perspective in her mind of what's going on and why. You know what I mean? I mean, it is a must, And
let me, if I can just, and to piggyback right back off of what you just said, is this morning called my son and I was talking to him. No, yesterday I did this. And I said, I hope, like my son is in a different state with his mother. Mother's white. Of course I'm Black. And so he's mixed half and half and everything. And he said his mother talked to him. So I didn't get the same type of, respect, I would say, or, that's, but. And
you definitely should talk to him.
Oh, I did. I already.
Okay. Got it.
I still talk to him, even though I asked him if he knew. He knew. And I said, okay, well, still, I'm going to say, and I said what I needed to tell him, but it sucks that my son's 12, will be 13 this year. Like, yes, I was hoping to, there was a part of me that really hoped I never had to go too deep with him and stuff. Like I've told him, if someone calls him the N-word, how to react to that and to, and stuff like that. But this is way on a long, different line.
Oh yeah.
So
this year has been tough on parents, man. I mean, we had to explain the pandemic. Now we have to explain this and why this response this time. Because both of our kids have seen this before. You know what I mean?
But not really.
But the response this time was different.
Yeah.
You know I mean, not seeing this exact thing, but they just heard about Aubrey a couple of weeks ago.
Other kids. Yeah. I'm sorry. I got you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But so, we have to explain to them why this response this time. I think that's very important because that's what the actual difference is and what needs to be explained. You know what I mean? Definitely. Why was the response this grave this time? You know what I mean? And this mugshot, this fake mugshot floating around. My mom, she actually sent it to me first. And me and my girl was here, and I sent it. I showed her, and she was like, "Well, babe, I don't know. That may be real, but maybe because he's all shaven." But then when Zach sent it to me today, side by side, our buddy Zach, I said, "Wait a minute, my mom was right. This is not the same. This isn't a current photo." Yeah. I mean, was he arrested? Was he not? Because if he was arrested, that's definitely not his mugshot.
You're right.
I'll tell you that for a fact.
Well, maybe it wasn't a mugshot, and it was just a picture that they grabbed. Because the mugshot wouldn't have had a number,
exactly.
He would be looking, because he was looking kind of like.
Yeah, my whole thing is, why did they show that as the arrest photo? That's what they kept showing.
Well,
if it wasn't the arrest photo, that should have been explained.
Yeah, and one thing I will, unfortunately, and maybe some of the audience will know this, is that when it seems that black men are arrested or their pictures are put on print or even on news or whatever, it's always the worst type of picture they could find. Like they remember when they darkened O.J. Simpson's picture.
Yep.
And then any other photos you usually see of someone, it's always the worst, hat to the side, never, never looking distinguished. Where when it's a white victim of something, they always pull out this, like Golly G picture or something.
Right. So I'd like to touch on, if we can, Smith, the protest and the looting. What I was told is that back in the day they called them agent provocateurs that would come in to try to make it seem as if we're doing the dirty work, but they actually are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I heard a lot of that was going on, and you touched on it earlier in today's show.
I definitely believe it is.
And I have heard and seen that a lot of peaceful protests was going on as well. And I know a lot of the looters, some of them were just out to gain from this tragedy, but I also understand the frustration and the anger and why they're looting and burning stuff down. I have to say, I wasn't unhappy when I saw them burning down the police station in Indiana. I have to say, because once again, and I'm going to keep saying this throughout the whole show, we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Yeah. And if peaceful protest is not working, and it hasn't worked for past 400 years, now it's time to switch and do a different type of protest, and maybe we'll get some results.
I will say that
I
think that we've had both the spectrums, and then you saw the Instagram where I put where it has Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and if at the time you have to admit that they were pretty much on the opposite
spectrum
of how to protest, and Martin Luther King was murdered. Malcolm X was murdered. Right. Both trying to promote black rights in the United States and bring about the change. And they both were killed. So if no one can tell me, oh, we only want peaceful protest, or peaceful protest is not it doesn't do it, and the violent doesn't do it. So I don't have an answer. And that's why when people try to push me into a corner to say whether I agree or disagree with looting, I mean, that's not something I would do, but that's what they're doing now. And the point is, I always go back. I always try to flip it and go, well, if you thought Colin Kaepernick was not correct in what he was doing, then then you got, this is the next
nothing
thing.
Is okay. Right.
Yeah.
This is the next thing.
There's no such thing as a good protest that I've never heard of someone going, this is how black people should protest, coming from a white person. Always, you shouldn't do this. It's not the right time.
Right. It's never okay. Whatever they do, whatever we do is never okay. But
why are they upset about the past? Why?
Right.
There's more reverse racism than there is racism. I'm sorry.
Which is BS.
All the different statements that you hear from people. It's like,
but if you go to my Facebook and listen to the thing that Trevor Noah said, go and listen to that. And when you hear what he has to say, you'll understand why they were looting. It was deep as hell.
Okay.
You gotta listen to that. And I was on the phone with one of the writers, I'm doing this film in Baton Rouge soon. And I told him to do the same thing because he didn't get it. He said, man, but why the looting and the fires? And I told him, I said, go and listen to what Trevor had to say. He explained it so well. And that's one of the things I'm going to let my daughter Layla listen to, what he said. It was so poignant, so important, so spot on. And when you hear what he had to say, you go, that's why they were looting and burning stuff down. And I know no one will get it or understand, but you gotta listen to what he said.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it was deep, and I wanted to write I wanted to do a transcript of it and mention some of it on our show, but I encourage people to just go online. And as a matter of fact, let me check my phone real quick so I could tell the listeners what it's labeled, so you can look it up.
Exactly.
It's called where is it? It's just go to his page, Trevor Noah, Justice for George Floyd.
Just okay.
Justice for George Floyd. It has 17 million views. Yeah. And when you listen to what he had to say, you will definitely see why. Yeah. And because until I heard that, I'm sorry to cut you. Until I heard that, then I said it all makes sense, because I wasn't even thinking on the level that he was thinking. You know what I mean? Yeah. After you listen to it, call me, because I want us to talk about it. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Just that. I kind of forgot what was going on. I'm not writing down my thoughts.
Yeah, me either. I don't have no pen and pad today. I'm just free flowing because I'm so upset. I'm just free flowing today, man.
It is a hard time. One thing I'm also want to, definitely, and I'm about to post this after we talk. It's just, people who are, again, all upset about the businesses, or turn a blind eye to the actual injustice. Mm-hmm. I'm like, how are you going to react if it's if it's the child of one of your black friends?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you really going to react to the what's going on? Are you just going to go, oh, that family? No, you can't. I mean, hopefully you can't, because you kind of know that family wouldn't be that, like there was nothing thuggish coming. Yep. Everything was good within them. He was raised in a proper way, but like, how are you going to react? And I do slightly feel bad for friends who respond to any Facebook or Instagram message, and then they kind of get beat up with their question back at me on something.
Right.
I sort of want to defend them, but you know what? You did put yourself out there, and you do just, if you're a good, if you're open-minded, you just read what people are saying to you. And instead of, I don't like those text memes that people are putting, like, I'm not letting a bunch of racists make me be upset about all white people. Something weird, like defending.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, there's no reason to defend them. They know who they are, and they know that they're good. They're posting stuff.
Right, exactly.
Right along with
matter of fact, I'll read it for the audience. Yeah, I know.
Thank you. I mean, I was looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Like, they are there. They're liking, or they're commenting. If they're questioning stuff, I want to engage and come back and forth, so that hopefully they can see what it is we're referring to. But, if they just don't ever get it, then they just don't get it. Then I know, that's the other part, is now I know where you are, and I see where you stand.
Right.
Right. Yeah, we may be good friends, but I'm sure that when we met the first time, you were reluctant to talk to me. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, that black guy isn't all that bad.
Right. So basically, you have me laughing. Basically, it says, I never let racist white people make me forget about the dope white people that I know exist. I love y'all.
I ain't got to say shit to them.
Because those people know who they are.
Yeah.
Like my buddy Josh that owns the gym that I work out at. He's one of those people that are dope, not a racist bone in his body. He's cool. Yeah. So yeah, to me, this is unnecessary, because you're right. They know who they are,
It's that, it almost feels like that. And then there's another post, which I think it feels like people are scared to post sensitive subjects like this on their Instagram or any social media thing, because they think that they will be unfriended, unfollowed, unliked,
Right.
or people are going to question them. Then they have to then speak up, and it's like, I don't want to speak up. I'm not the, then you're on the sideline. Then you don't matter. You need to just move out the way. I got you. We see where you are at and where you're standing in this. We, move on. But in some aspect, it is good to see who is and who aren't not responding, who's liking, who's not. I know, again, I see where you are. I see where you're standing.
Right. And I definitely want to be clear to our audience. I'm not saying that looting and burning people's businesses down is okay, but I really want them to understand why it's happening. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's okay. Do I care, to be frank? No. But I do understand why it's happening.
My thing is,
and if that's what it takes to get justice in this country, that's just what it takes. I'm focused on all the injustice. I'm not focused on the businesses that are being burnt down, and the looting. I'm sorry.
Correct. And I'm the exact same way. I don't want to have to. I don't want to even discuss the looting, because if the injustice wasn't fixed or people were all together on one side, we wouldn't have it going on the way it did. There's some footage of police like dealing with the protesters and such. Like there's that video where 2 police cars basically run over people. And I mean, if you don't think people are going to start rioting, can you see me? Oh, sorry. Yeah. If you don't think people are going to start rioting after that, then you have no clue what's going on. Like, this is not just a game. There's changes that need to be happening. So
changes are coming, brother. I'm telling you. I don't think this is going to be one of the ones, the incidences this time that's just going to be swept under the rug. Trump just came on this evening and said, that there will be justice, so let's see, hopefully he didn't just say
what's
that
his justice
for some photo op. He was saying that the police will be handled and it is going to be justice or whatever. So let's see.
Because at the same time, he's putting out, where's my thing, shows that he said, I don't know. I get the mobilizing of the National Guards and stuff like that to help. Yeah. But again, there's just a lot
because the people outnumber the police, so they have to do that. Just to try to keep some social order, keep some peace. And again, they're constantly focusing on that crap instead of the peaceful protests.
Yep.
Whenever they were showing the looting and this and that, there was a peaceful protest going on.
Yeah.
But they don't want to focus on that.
Don't want to even show that or talk about it, because then it changes. Like again, I'm noticing more people are more upset about the businesses and how bad things are, and oh my God, we just got out of this pandemic shelter, and now these businesses are. My question is, and which I want to look into this, is like, when this happens, does the insurance help? Because that's theft. So wouldn't insurance cover that of some sort?
Absolutely.
Isn't it very possible the government again is going to print some money to help these businesses get back on? I'm not saying that that's the right thing or the wrong thing. Just, I don't care to deal and talk about the businesses, and those are not the important things. Lives are, which you went through the list, and it's repeated. There's ones we don't know about, ones we didn't mention right away, and it's just been happening, and continues to happen, and we need it to stop, because, again, I don't want it to be my child, your child, or any of
or you or me for that matter, just
or you or
out one night. Or out one night, and they just decide to be, to be cowboys.
We fit the description of something, or they just like, you said this. Oh, what?
Yeah, and just make something up, and it's late at night, and no cameras are around. They murder one of us for no reason.
Yeah,
and the public has to just go with the story they actually tell.
Yeah.
You know
found drugs or
Which they could easily plant.
Plant, yep. Yeah,
Which they
or
could
this
easily
person was
plant.
shooting back or trying to erase from something else and
Mhm.
drop a gun. Be like, yeah.
Yep. I remember as a teenager, I had to be in my late teens growing up in South Florida. And I remember they had this road cop in North Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a known like road cop. And I remember he stopped me and my friends one day and planted a gun in the back seat of my convertible and made it seem as if we had guns stashed illegally in my car. And they had us on the ground and cops pulled up from everywhere, guns drawn, and he planted he staged the entire thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's happened to me, and luckily we didn't get killed that day. And then when all the other cops pulled up, he grabbed out the back seat and said, "Yeah, see, there's a gun in the back seat." And we all was like, "You just put that there."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was all of us saying it. I don't know if he thought we didn't see him or something.
Yeah.
So that day we all ended up riding away because Florida, you have a right to bear arms. It's not like Los Angeles. So we were able to keep our guns that were legal.
Okay. So you guys
they had to let us go. Yeah, and they had to let us go. You know what I mean?
So you guys did have guns on you, but they were legally obtained.
Yeah, exactly. They were legal.
He tried to make it seem like
as if we had them illegally. Right.
Wow.
Right. It was crazy, man. So my whole point is they've been doing this stuff forever. They'll continue to do it, and unless we, keep being sick and tired of being sick and tired, the same thing will continue to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I have to say about the whole thing. And it's kind of this curfew. You and I plan to maybe shoot in person today for the first time since the pandemic, and because of the curfew, we just said, "Hey, let's not even risk it, man."
Yeah. What happens on? If me coming to your house and I'm driving back, what could happen? Why put ourselves in that weird situation? Or roles reverse if you were driving this way. Like, again,
right?
Why take the chance that just something stupid?
Yeah.
Officer pulls you over and
absolutely
says one thing. You're like, what the?
Absolutely. It's not worth it. No. It's not worth it, man. Again, this has been a strange year. I mean, 2020 will definitely go down in history, and I'm hoping the end of this year things start to lighten up and turn out just a little better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I have to say, man. There has to be light at the end of this.
I do hope that there's a change, and again, we'll find out definitely at the end of the year.
Yeah, there has to be light at the end of this tunnel, man. I'm hoping
the direction.
Yes, I'm hoping that as the year winds down, man, we just can get back to normal, and there's a sense of love and community amongst the races, and we have an understanding. I saw a lot of video and pictures of the police kneeling down in solidarity in front of protesters and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, maybe we're finally getting somewhere here. Just maybe. You know what I'm trying to say?
I had a friend of mine posted today in Wichita, where the police and protesters, it ended up being a cookout where they just got together and sat down. Now, the only thing I got to say is I just hope that them kneeling, them sitting and talking, that it's not just talking out of the side of your neck type of thing, that it's actually meant to change and bring about a positive change. So that's what I hope comes out of all that stuff. It's got to end. And when I mean end, what I'm referring to is, again, the injustice, of killing and not having any type of repercussions, just like it happens. And on that list, one of those lists you brought, like no conviction, no conviction,
Oh,
no conviction.
none.
You know, so each time it's like you can just kill, and I will even admit, like, and I'm sure this is also happening with white men by white cops, and the point is being able to kill someone in the act of their duty is should not just be given freely. Like, they really need to justify and have an answer in it, and their word over others, again, that bothers me too, how one officer can almost dispel video proof or whatever. It's just crazy. It's just heartbreaking, because you don't feel justice, and it's got to be fair. Not everybody's trying to do the right, going around doing the wrong thing. And one thing I'm still noticing though is, we live out here in wine country, and we sort of opened up this past weekend where people were able to go and do bottles and glasses and just sit down. You didn't have to wear a mask. You could go into restaurants and stuff like that, and people were enjoying themselves. But the protests are going on. So there's still a separation of two different sides of America. Those who are feeling that and actually doing things, and then the others that are, I'm good. I'm just gonna go have a glass of wine. So
right, yeah, it's true, man.
And if you are, if you're doing that part, but yet, if you're able to take yourself outside of it because you've consumed, this other part is part of your life where you are posting, or you are out protesting, but you need a day with yourself and your family. That's understandable, and it's a good thing that that's possible still too. But if you're just totally ignoring the other situation, that's kind of bad. That's all.
Right. Exactly. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll sign off. It's 5:15. You have 45 minutes to go get snacks, whatever you need to get.
If you're in Riverside County, you gotta get your shit now.
Yeah. You have a few minutes. I went earlier, man, and I guess we'll just hunker down till 6 a.m. and hopefully by midweek, this curfew would have been lifted, and I can go see my daughter Wednesday. And
I'm hoping it's gone tomorrow, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping as well. That's what I'm hoping as well. So let's see.
Okay.
Let's definitely see. But thanks for signing on, Smith, aka Crispy. And I'll definitely get this edited and ready to post for our viewers on Wednesday. It's the HPR Chronicles with Shakur Smith, coming to you guys once again via Zoom. And next week, we'll most likely be in the same location for the first time.
Yep.
And bring you back, the way we did the show before the pandemic hit.
The banter and
exactly. So everybody out there, stay safe. And it's the HPR Chronicles podcast with Shakur Smith. Signed off till next week. Peace out. I'll see you, Smith.